All right, everyone, welcome to Wayne's World Garage. Last Tuesday and Monday, we dragged up a couple of those nice cherry logs out of the woods onto the trailer and got them ready to take to the mill. And it worked out really well. I cut them just to 8 foot 5 inches, 8 foot 6 inches, so I get 8 foot boards. But they're pretty good sized logs. Looks to me like they're almost 2 foot diameter. We thought they'd be pretty old trees, but counting the rings, we only see 65 rings. But maybe we're counting them wrong. So take a look and let me know if we got it wrong. But what worked really well was this winch arrangement. So we tipped the trailer up, put the winch on it, put the log tongues on it, which are right here, and this thing just pulled them up like a champ. What a great way to do it, because I didn't have to get my trailer and a tractor and a truck and all this equipment out there. So basically just a tractor and a trailer, and I pulled them up on there. So it worked out well. And that was Tuesday of last week. So Wednesday, the following day, we normally take these to the sawmill. Instead, Wayno got the bait and switch. Wayno was planning to go and get a valve job done. They're going to stick up a new valve in through my leg to my heart, and then Wayno was going to be good to go. Instead, I got the bait and switch. They said, no, we're going to do open heart surgery instead. Wednesday, or actually the week before, I kind of got a bait and switch. My daddy had a heart attack when he was 40 some odd years old. So to keep safe, we've been seeing a cardiologist for the last 15 years or so. And I see him every year, and every year, yep, things look good. You got a leaky heart valve, blah, blah, blah. Sooner or later, you're going to need some work done. This year I go there, and he said, we need to have another test done. So we have another test done, and all of a sudden, big catastrophe. We need to fix your heart valve right away. Okay, we got this real simple procedure called a TAVR, where they go up through your crotch. What's the quickest way to a man's heart? Through his crotch. Anyway, and they're going to do that. And we're all set up to do that. And then 3 or 4 days before the procedure, they call and had a change of heart. No pun intended. So they decided to do a bait and switch and want to do open heart surgery. So instead what they did is they crack your chest button open and they decide to work through there. It's a little bit easier. You probably do have a much better result, except the healing for this takes a few weeks more. So we'll see how that goes. So the interesting part is leaky heart valve, whether that was a birth defect, you had, some issues when you were a kid because you were sick, because your parents, locked you in the basement instead of taking you to the doctors, who knows. But anyway, I've had a leaky heart valve forever, and they decided it was time to make things right. Because what happens, okay, it's similar to the cavitation we have on trucks, diesel engines and tractors. So what happens on our big John Deere tractors if we have a lot of compression, which diesel engines have 22-to-1 compression, 21 compression, and they've got cylinder liners. So what happens? The cylinder liners, since they're under a lot of pressure, when the explosion, suck, squeeze, bang, blow, when the bang happens, okay, the liner moves away from the water, and then the water rushes back in to touch the cylinder, it causes cavitation, or pitting, or holes in the liner. Okay, well, the same thing happens for us. When our valves don't shut right, what happens? The pressure builds up to pump more blood out. And as they pump more blood out, calcium buildup occurs. So yeah, it does impact whether you have salt and eat fish every day. Well, guess what? It's also genetic. And you take all the right pills and you eat the right fish and chips all day long. Well, not chips. You eat the right stuff all day long, but you end up getting calcium buildup and things get worse. And then sooner or later, the doctors decide, well, let's get a valve job done. So we got the valve job done. I got the bait and switch. Instead of the 1 hour procedure, in and out of the hospital in a day, I was in and out in 5 or 6 days up in Baltimore, hon, which is actually miserable. The people are pretty good sports there for the most part. They're great people, they work hard. But what they did, now they cracked my chest open. I've got to wait a couple weeks here to get healthier so we can lift things up again. They said, well, you can't drive, well, you can't lift anything over 10 pounds. So I'm working on them. I said, what about my tractor? It's got power steering. And she's kind of indicated, yeah, you can drive the tractor. But hooking up the PTO, as you know, is going to be a drag, but we'll figure that out. But anyway, that's a story. I'm sticking with it. Instead of cavitation in my cylinder liners, okay, we had calcium buildup in my valve. And that was caused by excessive pressure, caused by a leaky valve. As the valve leaks more, it's going to happen. This is one of the advantages to living in a good area like this, where we have lots of medical care in Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and stuff like that. And they've got really high quality doctors. So the care is probably pretty good. The other option is you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and you have the big one, the big heart attack, or the aneurysm, which is the what happens is the valve, the artery, which is right past that valve, has expanded some and it's damaged and it continues to cause issues, and that thing bursts, and of course then you stroke out, which is probably a good way to go instead of, you know, babbling and dripping in your oatmeal all day long. But at 64 years old, I'm not quite ready to check out yet. So we had it done, and hopefully it's will be good for another 10 years is what they tell me. I don't know why it doesn't come with a lifetime warranty. Somebody said, where are the old parts? I don't know. The doctor has no sense of humor. I said, dude, do you make soup out of these things or what? I got the minimum wage stare. It was horrible. But anyway, I don't know where the old valve went. Maybe probably, I don't know what he did with the old valve. We'll see. So we're on track. Hopefully things will get better soon. And in a couple weeks, I'll be back to normal. They're talking 8 to 12 weeks back to normal. We hope to beat that record by quite a bit because planting season's coming up. I have to get the garden in middle of May. Might be a little bit late this year. We'll see. Anyway, that's the story. Thanks for watching. Anyway, just as a quick follow-up, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe. We've hit over 1,000 subscribers. Still haven't gotten a nickel out of Google or anybody else, but that's okay. We're working on it. It's a magic number, apparently. In the meantime, last Monday and Sunday, we did have a chance to fix the fence. Poor Mike, this big oak tree fell on his fence, the one that Tom and I were looking at the week before, and it fell down without us looking at it. And we also take a look at our cover crop, and the cover crop is looking really good. It's interesting. Local farmers are fertilizing the daylights out of their cover crops this year just because the price of the commodities, meaning wheat, is so high. It's worth investing into the fertilizer so it grows. 2 inches a day is what they're seeing in growth with all sorts of fertilizer on it. Well, we use it a little bit differently, but it looks good. It'll be a good ground cover and put lots of nitrogen back in the soil. Thanks again for watching.